What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of 30 NSG. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about, we're going to watch a Skull and Bones video talking about what the end game is going to be. We're also going to talk about Helldivers. Helldivers 2 is ramping up. They're hiring more people because more content coming down the road. And then we're also going to talk about Sea of Thieves. They did a little tweet yesterday, and I will go into a little speculation of what that means for Sea of Thieves and why I'm talking about Skull and Bones and Sea of Thieves on the same day. It's not a coincidence. I have a little theory that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, and we'll talk about that today. If you like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning to about noon Eastern. We just have conversations, read the gaming news, talk with chat. You guys are 100%. I'm okay. 100% part of the show. So if you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. We do live gameplay. We do live streams, uploads. We do podcasts tonight. Ginger Prime is going to be joining me on the podcast tonight for it's our third episode. I think it's our third official episode. Fourth episode. We had Kingard on twice. We had Miller. And then now we have Ginger Prime as our fourth guest. Third guest, fourth episode. For the 30 podcast. So that'll be on tonight. All right. What's going on, chat? What's going on, Z? Helldivers was awesome last night. We played for about 3.5 hours. I absolutely loved it. You can go check out that past broadcast. I blew up Paul. I blew up Paul and myself last night. I took a grenade out and I was like, hey, how do you, because I didn't know if you hold a grenade, I know it's going off, but I was trying to cancel it, like put it back in my pocket, but you can't. Once you hold it up in the air, it's going off, and you got a couple of seconds, and then you gotta chuck it. If you don't chuck it, well, then you're dead. So, yeah, he posted the clip in Discord. I was like, I'm so sorry, Paul. It was good. It was a fun time. What's going on with the people? What's going on, Hemi? Eclipse. L says, what's up, 30? I did a 9-hour Helldivers 2 session, but it was ruined by those darn pay-to-win players. I hate those pay-to-win players. Ron Slusher says, Skull and Bones is a hit. Is it? It's not even out yet. It comes out on the 16th. Does it not? How can something be a hit before it's even out yet? Are you in a time machine? Are you in your hot tub time machine? What's happening? What's going on, Water? Water says, Helldivers 2 is amazing. The people says, I'm excited to hear those who are digging Helldivers 2. What's going on, gamer? A veteran gamer. Yeah, it's great. It's a good game. We play in Helldivers 2 to rid the galaxy of cyborgs and bugs. I used the arc weapon on my son. Did not know it had such a wide aim. There's the amount of just fun stuff that happens in that game. And I know it's in like the honeymoon stage, and it's just different. But man, is it good? Go, Chief. So let's talk about. I want to talk about Sea of Thieves. Actually, let's talk about Suicide Squads first. It's not on the main docket, but they had their patch notes come out this morning. Okay, or should I say, lack of the patch notes for Suicide Squad this morning. Okay. Now, they make a reference, which, look, at least there's communication. Since last week when we talked about there was no communication for like 6 days, in the last 6 days, there's been a lot of communication from the director of the game and also just the community manager and then the Discord. Stuff has actually been said and talked about now, which is much better than it was the first week where nothing was talked about at all. So Suicide Squad's patch notes came out this morning. They shut down at 3 o'clock a.m. Eastern time this morning, and then it's a 9 gig patch. So make sure you do your update. So it says, all right, so this is the patch notes for February 14th. Oh, happy Valentine's Day for those of you that celebrate Valentine's Day. Okay, it says, hello, Task Force X. We want to start out by saying thank you for everyone who played Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League so far, and we love hearing about the stories that you have in Metropolis and can't wait to continue to fight against Brainiac with you. Now, this patch mainly addresses some of the bugs and difficulty scaling issues that are affecting players as it progressed to the higher mastery levels, 40+. Now, we hope that these changes will lead to more balance, a varied overall enjoyable experience as the takeover increasing challenges. Now, before I even read the remainder of it. We talked about, and Sarge brought this up on the GXG podcast last week. He said that the internet issues or the server issues are probably so minute that the bigger problem was the burn and the scaling and the level mastery for the people. Now, if you think about this, if you go to your, at least on an Xbox, if you go to your achievement list, okay, you can see that people that are playing in the Endgame in the 40+ mastery level, that percentage is less than 1%. Less than 1%. PlayStation has more players than Xbox, okay? But they're less than 1%. But if you think about this, why did they make these changes for Suicide Squad for the mastery levels and changing the burn effect if this game was dead and they're looking at long term? They had to fix this now before it gets worse as they add more content into the game. So this is why they fixed the burn. This is why they fixed the mastery level 40, because as more things come into the game, more people are going to come and play the game. So I think they're looking at this as long term. This is why they haven't fixed the internet issues just yet. So it says, we do, however, know that there's some players, right? And they say some players, some of the players are running into issues which are addressed in the patch. These include, but are not limited to, matchmaking issues, log issues, performance issues, and progress issues, amongst others. While we were not able to get to those fixes implemented in this patch, know that we are aware of these frustrations, and this may cause you working on making further improvements to the upcoming patches. We will be updating a known issue channel in our official Discord in the near future as the status is developed. We'll see you in Metropolis. So, as you can tell, the problems with the burn effect and the mastery levels of the 1% of the 1%ers inside of the endgame is more important than the actual server issues for the people that are having connection issues, can't play multiplayer, and can't do anything. I find this a little funny because they're the ones that made this an online game from day one, and we asked for an offline mode, and yet right now, a majority of us, and when I say us, I'm not talking about the entire gaming industry, I'm talking about, at least in our community, most of us are not playing multiplayer because we keep getting disconnected. And when I go watch people on Twitch or YouTube playing the game, they also have problems with connection issues, right? There's desync happening. So it has to be a pretty big problem, but yet they didn't fix it. They rather fix the burn effect, which, look, they do them. I'm just giving you my thoughts on it because it seems a little odd to me that the server issues in a game that they wanted to be online multiplayer co-op that they wanted to do, which most of us are playing solo right now in a game that's always online, that we wanted an offline mode. Go figure. Right? So bug fixes. It says, fix the bug that causes burning damage to scale with both player damage buffs and enemy debuffs. Burning damages should only be scaling via enemy debuffs. Okay? It says, fix the bug allowed Toyman to stack multiple of the same augments on your gear. It said, fix the bug that sometimes prevented modifications to augment on your gear from saving after existing multiplayer sessions and joining a single-player session. It says, changes in this release. Heatwave, Multi-Skin, and Turtle Shell have their damage reduction reduced from 100% to 90% because basically you would become immune and you would not be able to take any damage, and they went, all right, let's fix that. Let's make it from 100% to 90, which I think is fine. Right? Due to some players exploiting certain mission mechanics, vehicle kills during Gizmo's support squad missions no longer grant XP, and you're still awarded XP for the mission completion. I think this is one of the reasons that these servers were happening, a problem happening in the broader scheme of things, right? People, look, this is how it works in this day and age in 2024. Okay, someone finds an exploit, they make a YouTube video of it, everyone sees the YouTube video, they start doing the exploit as well, and then it starts to do taxing on the actual servers. Because in a mission, they fixed it, so I'll talk about it now. In a mission, Gizmo mission, the last one, you would just go up in the air and shoot a whole bunch of stuff. There's these tanks that kept spawning, and you would just keep blowing them up, and you would just get unlimited XP. So people would have all the rewards on the ground. It would slow down their actual game, and you would have to reset, start again, and people would do it. Well, now do this 1,000 times, right? Thousands of times where people were doing it. Well, that's the actual problem, I think, is why the server issues are happening and the desyncing and stuff like that, because everyone, I don't want to say everyone, but generalistically, a lot of people, okay, are doing this glitch to get XP, okay, because path of least resistance, right? So they fixed that. Now you just get the XP for the completion of the mission. Okay, next one is, With the fix of burning damage, players will be less likely to get the same mastery levels as before. As a result, we will be creating a new leaderboard in the interest of fairness. Fear not, though, as we will be archiving an existing leaderboard, so you can also currently atop the rankings and will live on in infamy. It says also with this fix coming burn damage scaling and hearing that the concerns around hitting a wall and climbing mastery levels, we have reduced enemy health scaling for mastery levels 46 and above. To keep things challenging, enemies at mastery level 46 and above will now deal more damage. Yay! Right? They have less health, but they also hit more damage. Okay? I would like to put my hat in the ring. When I've said this live on the stream. I have a problem when you play by yourself in those missions when you have 3 NPCs with you. Because all of the bad guys aim towards you. Okay, but when you play with multiplayer, 2, 3, 4 people, it spreads it out because then they start aggroing and targeting other guys that are playing with you. But they only aggro you when you're by yourself, and that's a problem. Okay, so there you go. There's the changes that they've told us this week, or for this patch notes. What's going on, Luke? Waterbear says, well, 30, nerfing the fire build is the most important thing. I would think the reason they did that over the connection issues, and Sarge, I think, is 100% correct on this, less people were having connection issues. And by this, here, again, I'll go to my YouTube channel, right? I made a poll on my YouTube channel. And let me go to the channel. And we're a very small channel, right? Very small channel, but we had a lot of votes for it. Okay. So I want to show you our community. We had 576 people vote on this, and I asked the question, now that Suicide Squad is out, are you having server issues since it has come out? And 72% said no. No, they have not had any server issues, okay? And 28% said yes. Right? Now, I know it's a small sampling, and it's hitting me, it's hitting you, it's hitting other people that are in our community, okay? But overall, 72% haven't experienced anything. But I also like to think about, out of that 72%, how many people are not even trying to play online and they're just playing by themselves? Okay, that's a fundamental, I don't know, but 72% is a big. So what Sarge said was it was probably such a small portion of it that the burn damage was more important and fixing the end game stuff, because the people that are enjoying the game, they're trying to fix that in the long run, because as more guns come in, more things get broke. If the burn effect plus the new weapons that come in, they could break the game even further. So they had to adjust. They had to adjust and reference it now and fix it now. Mr. Luke says, I feel like Rocksteady have patched what they can patch, and their end, and the server issues are not a full in the control of waiting for the WB to pay for better servers, etc. I don't know if it's they ran out of servers, Luke, or if some of the glitches that were happening. Right? They fixed the gizmo glitch where people were doing that exploit. That might help out with the server stuff. Dave Rose says the nerf and the burn and the update of the store, but don't fix real problems. I can't even run excursions to better my character because my mastery levels are locked. Fuck you, Rocksteady. I'm in the same boat as you, Rose, and this is why I'm part of that 28%. I'm part of the 28% where I try to play online with people and it just disconnects me. I can't go up my mastery levels because I'm being, it's like a sweat fest going on by myself, and when I go in with other people, it makes it a little less, right? Because you're not being aggroed with everybody. So, we'll see. Come on, Hemi. Dave Rose says also, so they make them hit harder, so you have to play multiplayer, but you can't because you're broke as fuck and tried playing multiplayer last night. The game keeps freezing, and the hard crashes 3 times. Yeah, it's, like I said, we're part of the 28%, right? Just like I always say about the majority minority, supposedly we're part of the minority of the people that are having issues. It sucks to have issues, but I think on their end, they had to fix the burn and stuff. And now going forward, they said they do recognize it and they are going to try to fix it. So I'll give them a little leeway, but here we are. We're, 2 weeks in now? 2 weeks in? Pepsi says, that's what I said at the end of the stream a few days ago. Who would like to know that number? Right. Right, Krebsy. Rose says the same. I can't run solo because it crashes, but I also can't play solo because my levels are bugged. I don't think I have a level bug thing though. What's the solo? Your levels are bugged. What's happening there? They're definitely going to have to fix these issues before season 1, or it will be a problem. Well, I think they had to fix the problems with the burn effect before season 1 came out, and they also have to fix these server issues before. If this goes into 2 more weeks, 3 more weeks, and season 1 comes out and we're still having server issues, this is Marvel's Avengers all over again as far as the server side. This is going into the same territory as Marvel's Avengers with the server issues. Go on, Makoki. Are you still playing Suicide Squad, or you have a fully switched over to Helldivers 2? No, I'm playing both. I played Suicide Squad Monday. We played Helldivers last night. But unfortunate part here is that I'm trying to play multiplayer. I want to try to get my characters up in Suicide Squad. But I'm one of the people in this 28%, okay, that basically are having issues with multiplayer. And because I'm having problems with multiplayer, I can't level up my mastery levels because I have no help. So my characters are not built high enough yet. If I suck, whatever it is, I was going up mastery levels, but now I hit a wall. So I have to wait for them to fix the server issues before I can continue leveling up my mastery levels. So in the meantime, Helldivers 2 is here. In a bakery, it's easier to adjust the cook time or the complete evolution of the oven. Open another oven to increase the production. That's the way I see it, and fixing the burn before server issues. Water says, don't make me go and play Foam Stars. My mastery levels on the incursions are locked, even though I'm infinite level 30. I can only do the first level. Have you done, and this is like one of those operators, Rose. Have you tried plugging it in? This is what it's going to sound like. Have you gone around to all the 3 and done the same mastery level with each one? Just asking. I'm sure you have. Just asking. Kylo says, am I weird not giving a shit about any recent game that's come out? No. They're not your cup of tea. I actually am playing Foam Stars, Prince of Persia, because of this. And I moved over to Helldivers 2 because of this, right? Do you see the problem when there's issues that are happening and no one's fixing them? Like, your game I want to play, but your game doesn't want me to play. Same exact thing happened with Marvel's Avengers. I want to play your game, but you wouldn't let me play it for 14 days, so I went to go play something else. Yeah, I watched Angry Joe play the 3 people the whole time, and he played the game and never had one server issue. Is he... Okay, Eclipse, was he playing with other Joe and someone else in his own household? If he was just playing with those 2 people and they're on the same side, they're in the same house, he would have less issues. Kylo says, I've been literally playing Red Dead 2 for 2 weeks straight. Emmy says, I only played co-op 1 time and my melee was broke. I have, and I did the horde mode, both normal and hardcore, to see if it fixes my issue, and nope. Let's hope them fixing Gizmo helps them going after the gym and going open up in the friends and gonna test with 1 to 2 friends. Yeah, after my stream today, Luke, if you're on, I'll try to jump in for like one game or 2 games just to test it out with you, if you don't mind. I have like an hour and a half I can kill to test it out for before I go pick up my son. I'll eat some lunch and then I'll jump in. Yeah, that might have been it. Why I think had one other person that wasn't with him. But yeah, that's probably why. Yeah, House, I thought it was funny, right? I know Paul Tassie's been playing the game and giving criticism about the game and liking but not liking the game. But I think it's pretty funny that, like, content must be really slow. Destiny must be really slow if he keeps playing Suicide Squad and now he's making build videos. I thought that was funny. Big T says, I'm having the same issue with co-op on Helldivers. The connection issues are making me not want to play. See, now I haven't had that issue with Helldivers yet, but if it's the exact same thing that's happening, that'll be a problem as well. Because then if I'm not playing Suicide Squad and I'm not playing Helldivers, it's like where do I go then? Roic says I just got back into Division 2 and having a blast with the summit. I gotta go back and do that first season or the first week of the season. I was playing last night and having one friend join. It was good. No disconnect. Somebody says, important news. The person who made Pop-Tarts has passed away. Okay, back to gaming news. Thanks for the information. Appreciate it. Just play with yourself. Come on, Jones. Eclipse says, I think Helldivers is fine as long as you play with friends, but when you're matchmaking, it has problems, apparently. I played last night with Akuta Papa and Paul, and we didn't have one issue. Paul got disconnected about 2 hours in, but then he popped back in, and it was fine. I mean, I don't know what that problem was, but we had a blast. I had fun last night. All right, so there goes Suicide Squad. And now I want to talk about... I don't know if I should talk about... I guess let's talk about Helldivers first. Talk about Helldivers first, and then we'll go into Sea of Thieves and then Skull and Bones. Right? And Sea of Thieves and Skull and Bones are kind of attached. So we'll talk about that in a second. The Division 2 DLC, the New York one, it's great DLC. No, tonight, Water. Maybe after the podcast, I might go on, but I won't be streaming. So if you see me on, or hit me up in Discord, and we can play, because the podcast is tonight with Ginger Prime. All right. All right, Helldivers 2 starts recruiting more devs for the war efforts after Galactic success aims to accelerate the beef up its content plans. Krebsy said this yesterday. He says he finds it funny that Suicide Squad has roadmaps, right, but having problems or staying quiet, okay? And Helldivers is like scorched earth right now as far as good, and yet there's no plans for their future, right? So I thought that was interesting. Okay, so Helldivers 2, a solid third-person co-op shooter about blasting bugs, has been donned well for itself, too well, in the fact of slamming right into the ceiling of Steam's global top-selling chart. Like a kid who didn't expect Mentos to mix in with the Coke quite as explosive as a result, there's also been some hefty server and performer issues. Now, though given that the game's positive reception, none of this is ever enough to dampen anyone's enthusiasm. Now, players are downright patriotic for Helldivers and the direct result of the game's success, and the studio Arrowhead has begun to recruitment drive for more devs. And according to the CEO on Twitter, he says, quote, with the success of Helldivers, we're going to start looking for more amazing developers that can also help us accelerate and beef up the content plans. Okay, jobs will be also going up soon, but also in the senior devs, there's always the open application enlist today for Arrowhead Game Studio. As if this wasn't confirmation enough, when one player noted that the studio was suffering from success earlier this week, Jonathan wrote, indeed, I mean so much. I lovely seeing so many people have so much fun, and we're hell-bent on making the best co-op game of all time. Now, here's the thing. You hear about, well, maybe you don't hear about it. I hear about this a lot. I talk to a lot of business owners and stuff like that. I know a lot of people that started businesses up, and they failed because they couldn't scale, okay? And if you guys ever watch... If you ever watched an episode of Shark Tank, when people come in and they pitch their stuff, and then you hear like Mark Cuban or Mr. Wonderful talk about how I'll give you the money because you need help scaling, and a lot of people don't understand that concept. When you have a hit game and you don't have the servers, right? Now, if you have a hit game and it's a single-player game, no big deal. You made the game, you sold the game, you put it out there. But when you're playing a multiplayer game, an online game, a successful co-op game, and you don't have the servers... your success could actually bankrupt the studio because they have issues, right? BattleBit Remaster was having issues with this when they first got it. It was so ramped up that they had to open up more servers for people to come in. Well, the 3-man studio, they didn't get paid yet from Steam with all these sales that were coming in. It takes 45 days to 60 days to get paid. So they had to find other resources to get money to rent the server space. Palworld was having the same problem. There were so many people playing Palworld that they could basically go bankrupt with the servers. Now, obviously, they didn't. They're still there. They're still having issues, right? But people are having server issues with Palworld. People are having server issues with Helldivers. People are having server issues with Suicide Squad. These are all things that are people don't think about when they start a online multiplayer game, right? This is a major issue, and hopefully they get the backing, and I would hope that Sony would pony the bill up if they helped them out and said, hey, yeah, we got your servers. Don't worry about it, okay? But growing too fast in general could be bad for business for a lot of people, okay? So, according to the studio's website, Arrowhead is currently looking for programmers, engineers, and production directors, and orbital laser and demolition experts, and monetization designer. Okay, I made one of those up, but they're certainly thirsty for talent. While monetization designer might give players pause, Jonathan seems pretty adamant about Helldivers 2 avoiding a predatory FOMO-driven nonsense in other live service games. He also notes that an open application form. While there's such things as suffering from success, it's nice to see the studio taking proactive attitude towards shoring things up and transparent updates from people in charge. And I was talking about this last week in GXG, right? We made an example of Suicide Squad being dead silent for 6 days, nobody talking about anything. Day one, Helldivers had problems, and the director of the studio, okay, came out and made transparent, saying, hey, we hear you. They made two updates so fast, all right? So you have to say something, and it goes a long way. Even if there's problems, coming out and saying something helps the people have trust in you, gets that goodwill with you. Sure, the servers are going to get fixed down the line, but when people communicate, it goes a long way when the people don't communicate or lie to you straight up to your face. Look at Marvel's Avengers back in the day. Marvel's Avengers, they would have streams every Friday, and every Friday people would ask questions, and in the beginning it was fine. They were like, oh, I'll find out. Let me ask the person. But then 2 weeks became 3 weeks, and 3 weeks became 6 weeks, and 6 weeks became 18 weeks. Okay? And every time they asked a question, people would be like, oh, let me go ask somebody. Oh, we don't know. Well, we'll have an answer for you. And they just never said anything to you. So people started getting a little fishy, going, well, what's happening here? So make sure that you communicate with your customers, because without your customers, you don't have a product. Here's my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comment section down below. What do you think about Helldivers 2? Building up their staff, getting more servers up, getting these problems. Are you going to give them a little leeway? Let me know in the comment section down below. Are you enjoying Helldivers 2? Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And if you like what we do here, please make sure you check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. Yeah, Jason says their favorite word was soon. Soon. Robert Jones says, I thought Helldivers would have more planned. Travis from IGN said that they were waiting to see a community response. Of course. This game is probably a home run, Jones. I don't know what the budget of this game is, right? But whatever they've made, okay, they've made this game, and it's a lot for what the price point is, okay? And they're just going to keep adding stuff to it. And it was a testing waters, right? We talk about this all the time. If a game takes 5 to 7 years to make, right, or 3 to 5 years to make, if it takes more 5, but they release it at 3, even though it's released, the next 2 years is adding content and fixing it. It's a live service game, right? So it doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me at all. We the People says, I just got the Clown Award for my review of Suicide Squad on Steam. I didn't even know that was a thing. A Clown Award? Congratulations. I don't know what that is. I mean, it's probably because you gave it a review and people are like, you're a clown for liking the game. I'm assuming that's what you're talking about. In my opinion, Division 2 should have gotten the second expansion to hold people over until Heartlands can release. Crowded House says, I hope they're amazing management. Water Bear says, make a game, sell a game, make a game as a service, provide content and stability, and watch it make money for you. Krebsy Gaming says, time to mortgage the house like Cuphead devs. That's right. That's right. That's passion right there, right? Krebsy says, wait, they're paying more for devs that can win with successful game? Knew it. Pay to win trash. Tisk, tisk. Their favorite word is soon. The game has definitely opened Sony's eyes to realizing exclusive day one on PlayStation 5 and PC. I said before this game even came out, before MLB came out years ago, I said that they will release their day and date single player games on PC because that's the way the industry is going. And you know what? I understand this is a live service game. It's a multiplayer co-op game, but it just proves that if you release the game day one on both platforms, because I'll be honest, if Helldivers only came to PlayStation 5, I would not be playing, right? Because I don't own a PlayStation. I would look from afar and go, man, that game looks fun, but I'm not paying $500 to get a system to pay for a $40 game. But I have it on. I have a PC, and I bought it. Why? Because I can. So we'll see what PlayStation does in the future. We'll see. Veteran Gamer says, you want to know what is to come to Helldivers 2? Look at Helldivers 1. Other factions, mechs, and tanks. Now, it's funny you say that, though, Veteran Gamer, because I know nothing about Helldivers 1, but I did some research and stuff. Now, obviously, they made a game and sold a game back then, okay? And now it's a live service game, okay, where now they can take the same content that was in the game at day one and now add it across the board. Keep people coming back, right? Waterbear says it's called being not being prepared. It's a good problem to have short term. Long term, not so much. We have the people who said, I got an email saying I was awarded the Jester Award, but it's a straight up a clown face. But yeah, it's a positive for sure about the game. 2 new worlds are unlocking in Helldivers 2. One is the best beat looking worlds. Is one of the best looking worlds? Is that what you're supposed to say? Is that what you're saying? Best or beat? Is one of the beat looking worlds. I'm assuming it's best. They confirmed mechs coming. Yeah, they did confirm mechs are coming. I thought you bought it because I told you it was a great game. No, I said from the very beginning, Water, when we first saw it, I said, I'm interested in that game. And the reason I didn't buy it straight up day one is because I didn't think I had time. My parents came in this weekend, and that's why I didn't buy it, because why buy it Friday if I couldn't play it until Sunday or Monday? You know what I mean? Not like it's going anywhere. Big T says, I really like Helldivers. Hope they fix it soon. It's very hit or miss on playing multiplayer. It's too punishing to solo. That means the servers are bad and there's no game. Last night, after I got off, I had a really intense game. I played it on a medium difficulty, and I had to kill two hive of eggs. And boy, let me tell you, it was a blast. I was strategically, like, sitting up on a rock, and I was, like, picking off with a sniper rifle, like, killing the eggs. And then I was doing airstrikes coming in, and then everyone started attacking me. And I was, like, running across the map. It was excellent. I got out of there with barely with my life. I didn't die once. It was so much fun. And then I watched the video today. And we could watch it a little later when we're done with the other stuff. But the guy said a good tip is, he goes, if you want to level up fast, he goes, just pick easy mode, okay? And you just get XP. He goes, you get 200 XP by just landing on the planet, going directly to the actual thing, and then extracting. He goes, the longer you stay on the board, the harder the enemies get, okay? And he said that if you play 4 players and go into the game and you go scavenge everything, because sure, you'll get a lot of the samples and whatnot, but you're doing 40 minutes and you're only getting like 385 XP, okay? He goes, but if you go solo, just do the mission and then run back to the ship, you get 200 XP. He goes, let's just say it's 7 to 10 minutes. He goes, you can get 1,000 XP in an hour, where the other one you're only getting 300. I thought that was interesting. Jason says, I played the first mission against the robots yesterday, and I love how different they are compared to the bugs. I need the actual takeover and bring different gear. I saw a guy had like a drone on his back, and it was helping him out. I was like, dude, I want that. Water Bear says, Helldivers is only fun. Isn't only fun, but the graphics are top notch. The environment plays a part in your team's strategy. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I understand why they didn't put the jump button in. Having options in how you play a level is really fun. Look, I like the fact that you can pick easy, trivial, medium, challenging. Like, play the game how you want to play. I love that they give options like that. All right, let me look at that real fast. Where'd you put it? In general? Devs control your game. Oh, how long is that video? How long is that video?
What's going on, guys?
4 minutes? I'll add that. I'll add that to our watch list here. Actually, let's watch it now. Let's watch it now. What's this guy's name? Let me add it to the list here. Hold on one second. I let it give credit for people's videos we're watching, so. And why isn't this guy's name being... There we go. All right. All right, let's watch this.
Hey guys, Next here. Welcome back to the channel. Helldivers 2, the game master, the AI director explained in this video. That's right, the devs, and I mean human interactions, can control the flow and pacing of the game that you are currently in. Well, obviously you're not currently in one right now, but when we will get into one, that is a possibility. That is what they have done with this game. They've added a game master. Let's talk about it. There was an interview from one of the Arrowhead.
Just to let you know, game master's like sort of like the game director, like in Left 4 Dead a little bit. That was AI, not controlled by actual devs. So let's hear what he has to say.
Studio developers providing insights into the development of Helldivers 2, talking about this game feature and the cooperative elements with inspiration drawn from tabletop RPGs and war games, particularly Warhammer 40k. One significant innovation highlighted is the introduction of a game master functionality where actual humans monitor gameplay in real time, making decisions to enhance the dynamic and unpredictable nature of the game. This functionality not only affects moment-to-moment gameplay, but also influences the overarching story of the Helldivers universe. This cooperative approach aims to create a living and breathing game world that responds to player actions. Additionally,
dude, those tanks and stuff look ridiculously good. Like, I haven't played these guys yet. Against these guys, those look awesome. Those look awesome.
Communication and cooperation are emphasized as crucial for success in Helldivers 2, especially with the switch to a third-person perspective that limits awareness. Unlike Helldivers 2, Helldivers 1 had a top-down view where you could see all around you. In Helldivers 2, you can only see basically what's kind of in front of you. Now, this Game Master is going to affect the live service aspects of this game with community-driven decisions.
Is anybody else watching this that's playing Helldivers? If you're not playing Helldivers right now and you're watching a Helldivers video, like, are you guys like, oh, I want to get in and play? Like, I just want to play. I want to play more Helldivers right now. And again, I'm in the honeymoon phase. I understand that. But just watching this, I want to play.
Decision impacting the macro level of the game universe. So we're not talking about super micro, but macro, the big picture, taking over planets, how are the bugs reacting, etc. Now, these interviews are important. They give us more information, and I want to show them here.
Tabletop thinking gives the game one of its best hidden secrets.
So, in a lot of tabletop gaming, you have a dungeon master or a game master, right? We also have a game master in this game. It's very hard to achieve exactly what you get at a table, but we wanted flavors of that into this game. This is not a minor part of our game. This is a significant feature that we've designed that is, by the way, somewhat different from the first game, something that we're really excited
I love how that guy just turned around and just shot his teammate in the face.
to talk about. We have a
Did you guys see that? Watch.
that we've designed that is, by the way, somewhat different from the first game, something that we're
Oh man, I blew up Paul last night. It was hilarious.
really excited to talk about. We have a suite of tools and a suite of real life human beings, okay? Not just AI bots, right, that are doing this, that are observing the gameplay as it's happening and responding in real time.
In one of our games, for example, Dave was handed a 500-kilogram bomb to use. And Saga says that's the impact of a guiding human hand.
Wait a minute. Not only can they go up against you, like send things after you, but they can just give you a bomb all of a sudden?
One of our team members was observing your playstyle and debated what to do and was like, I'm going to drop them this extra stratagem.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
To me, this is exciting news because it keeps the game fresh, and I wasn't sure if people quite understood what this game master meant. Some prime examples here by one of the devs in the Discord says technically you are able to drop a boss or a monster never seen before. Technically this is true. The game master can enable things on planets such as enemies and modifiers. It's not specific to one player. So this is affecting multiple players at all times, not just your specific mission, if that makes sense. We've also seen that the game master leads a team of GMs, and while they could do this, it's more that the GM is watching the global campaign itself and making decisions based on massive amounts of data pouring in. So like I said before, it's kind of like the macro managing that's happening here, not so much the micro. And last up here, we see that there's a small question. Will players be notified when
So wait a minute. Okay, let me get this straight. They can influence individual games, but they can also change the landscape of people on that planet at that time, and then put waves of guys and like add a boss, a big bug or whatever, and it'll be on multiple people's games. That's why he's saying it's more macro than micro.
game master is interacting with their game? Since the game master interacts with the whole war campaign, players will know when the events begin. So I don't necessarily think it's going to tell us, hey, a game master is messing with your game. It's just going to be something that I think just spontaneously happens, and that's just basically the telltale that sure enough, the game master is now playing an effect, playing a role in your current mission. So we have seen...
The dude says, I think live service gamers just prioritize their money differently than I do. More power to them. I own a beach house, and they get their live service game.
Game masters and AI directors like this before, for example, World War Z, to improve replayability, increasing the overall longevity of the game, and making sure that it's not every playthrough of the same chapter no matter what. An AI-controlled director manipulates the game from the background. They will adjust the experience and tailor it to how well or poorly you and your team are doing. This is what World War Z did, a game that I played, a cooperative third-person shooter, against zombies. Another example, Left 4 Dead, another zombie game which also had a director, which is artificial intelligence of a feature that
Right. It was artificial intelligence, though.
dynamically changed the game difficulty, its pacing, and overall dramatics. These are the exact things that we are going to experience in Helldivers 2. The missions, the levels, they're procedurally generated. There's also going to be a weather system. It's going to be dynamic. There's also going to be day and night cycles, making everything pretty much different every single time you load up a mission. Anyways, what do you guys think about this? Helldivers 2 is coming out so freaking soon. If you want to see some raw gameplay, we'll be...
That's cool. That's cool. I didn't know. I thought when they said that originally, I heard that. I thought it was more of an AI director. I didn't know it was a director of an actual person watching the game. Now, I'm also glad that they could do this to anybody. It's not just people that are live on streaming. You know what I mean? They're like watching the games, however they're doing it, right? Just going into a game, seeing what they're doing, and then all of a sudden be like, I'm gonna drop a bug here. I'm gonna drop them a bug. Oh, they're struggling. Here's a pod that nobody called in that from the drop ship. It just drops in to help them out. That's cool. I think that's really neat. Come on, Kuda Papa. So not only can they go against you, but they can also help you. That's neat. Oh, remember that, Jones? When Battlefield had that? I thought that was a cool feature when Battlefield came out, and I would actually play on my iPad and support the people. This is the same thing that Hell Let Loose does. Hell Let Loose does. The commander, he basically does that. He could drop tanks and different things. I like stuff like that. It's pretty cool. All right, let me bring up. There was another video I watched this morning. And it was a Helldivers one. Right? And I just want to bring it up and show you what he was talking about. Let's phones. 12 thing. The one? I think it's the 12.
Helldivers.
Okay. Let me bring this up. This guy talks about, is this the, let me see. This is, he talks about XP. It makes sense. Let's see. Side missions, rare currency, weapon, have fun, bonus tip. Side mission, ammo, equipment, rare currency, sounds, weapon defaults, have fun. Bonus tip?
Silliness. And on that note, another cheeky little tip for you is you will still get all your experience even if you don't exfil from a mission, even if you do strike. Tip number 11 is to stop using all weapons in their default set. Tip number 10 is more of an FYI rather than something you may be doing wrong. As you now already know, when you... Now, tip 9 is quite the opposite to tip 8. And this is the one reason in which you would want to complete all objectives.
Okay, I think this is it.
This is something I found out because I didn't want to fall behind all of the teams that were playing. So, for tip number 8, if you want loads of experience, especially if you're playing solo, do not take forever trying to mop up every single side thing in a mission. And to add to this, don't worry about trying to do missions on challenging or hard difficulty, etc. Just stick to easy and go for a quick completion. Now, let me explain the maths behind this. For completing a mission, you are guaranteed 100 XP.
This also goes to the path of least resistance, right? Gamers are going to game, and this is actually a really good tip. I like this. This is why I'm showing you his video, okay? If you're a person that's playing solo, and you're like, oh, man, right? Just listen to what he's saying here.
Tier 1 nests give you 5 XP. Tier 2 nests give you 10. For extracting with one person, you get 20 XP, and completing side objectives gives you 50 XP. On top of this, you can then also get up to 100 bonus XP based on how quickly you have completed the mission, especially solo.
So there's a balance, right? You can get in and do what we were doing last night. We get in and get everything on the board, and you can do that. That's a way to play. But if you want XP to get your guy leveled up faster and get the gears, and so you can get the medals and whatnot, you play on easy mode, and then you do it as fast as possible, right? Just land, do the mission, and then extract.
Although it will take you at least a couple of minutes to clear out even a tier 1 bug nest. That is going to net you literally 5 experience points, which you are going to have lost from your quick completion bonus. Side objectives are a bit more worthwhile if they are on the critical path. Don't worry about trying to deviate and go and do them, because again, it will take too long and it won't be experience efficient. So stick to easy missions, just beeline for that quick completion bonus, and you can easily net yourself 200 plus experience in 7 minutes or less. Now, realistically, you've also got the loading time of the mission and the score screen at the end. So let's round that up to 10 minutes. That means you can still get in 6 missions per hour at 200 experience each. That's 1200 experience per hour. Now, if you were to comb the entire map with a group of 4 people and do all side objectives, because you're not getting that completion bonus, you will likely be netting yourself around 350 experience, but it's almost guaranteed to take you the full 40 minutes.
Right.
So you can get either 200 experience in less than 10 minutes, or not even double that for...
or 350 XP in 40 to 45 minutes. Now, obviously, in that 40 to 45 minutes, you're getting the samples, you're getting other things as well, you're getting the currency, you can get extra renowned or extra medals or whatnot. So there's a lot other things that you can do. So if you're just trying to get XP to get leveled up, then do the 7 to 10 minutes flat type of thing. Maybe you could do 5, maybe you get 1,000 to 1,200 XP instead of doing the 350, right? So what's going on, Jojo? So there you go.
Around 40 to 45 minutes of playtime. So I'll reiterate again, because this tip is...
For me, it's more fun to complete the map than man ship, repeat. Again, he's saying if you want to get leveled up faster with XP, gamers are going to game, okay? His next little thing here is going around and then completing everything.
Now, tip 9 is quite the opposite to tip 8. And this is the one reason in which you would want to complete all objectives in every mission.
He's not missing anything, Akuta Papa. He's telling you exactly how he said it. If you're a person that wants to get XP, this is what you do for the best XP, right? If you want to get everything else, again, we just watched a small section of his entire video that he's giving tips on.
And be really slow and methodical. As I say, experience-wise, this is very, very inefficient. However, if you're trying to focus on samples and at higher difficulties, rare samples, then tip number 9 is not to rush through missions and actually complete every objective and comb every area. Every time you see a yellow beacon flashing in the distance, that could be some credits, that could be some war bonds. That's a long-term resource that you want to start stockpiling. And in the same vein, samples are scattered all over the place in minor hidden locations, in bug nests, in camps, you name it. They could be anywhere and everywhere. So if you've got to the point where you don't care about experience points and you just want to farm money and samples, then combing everything and taking your time could be the way to go. Obviously, if you have a well-oiled team and you're all really good at the game and really kitted out, ideally, you can combine both of these tips. You can go for that quick completion bonus whilst combing every single area in the mission. Because don't forget that if one of you grabs some money or a sample, that is shared throughout your entire team. So it may be well worth splitting up into 2 teams of 2 or even 4 teams of 1 and covering as much of the map as possible. That is the ideal, that is the dream. And hopefully those of us that play in the Doms Roundtable Discord will get to that point soon. And
I have it going at 2 times. Oh no, I have it at normal. He's
Until
speeding
then,
it up. I
focus
thought for a
on
second I was
one
like, wait a
or the
minute.
other. Don't try and stretch yourself too thin. Tip number 10 is more of an FYI rather than something you may be doing wrong.
All
As
right,
you now
so
already
here's
know,
another
when
thing.
using weapons in their default setting, you may...
I didn't touch this yesterday. I didn't even know this was a thing. You guys told me yesterday before I streamed. I think Titan told me or someone told me yesterday. I didn't know you could do this. But here you
wonder
go.
what I even mean by this. But yes, in fact, most weapons are very customizable. As you can see here, if I hold down the reload button, this menu will pop up, which will not only show me how many bullets I have left in my magazine, it will allow me to change the distance at which the scope is set to, whether or not I want my flashlight toggled on, off, or on automatic, and perhaps most importantly, the fire setting I want on my currently equipped weapon. And please note that lots of different weapon categories have different options here, so make sure every time you use a new weapon, you come in here and check it out. And get familiar and comfortable with scrolling through this menu, because especially changing the distance of the scope can be really invaluable in certain situations. For example, on
I asked that last night. I said, is there bullet drop?
the PC, when you're holding down R for reload, you can scroll up on the mouse wheel to change the scope, you can scroll down to change the flashlight, or you can press right mouse button to cycle through the different fire types. Get comfortable with this menu with all weapons because it will make you effective at all ranges and perhaps most importantly will keep you out of danger more often. And the final tip is don't forget to create massive...
There you go. So there's just a couple things I wanted to show you, right? So if you're looking to get XP because you want to unlock certain things at certain levels, then just do on easy mode. So a lot of people are asking, is it okay solo? Is it okay solo? It's manageable solo. You could do, I did a mission yesterday, medium, by myself after stream, and it was fun. It was a really good time. It was hectic at the end. It was hectic at the end, but man, it was fun, right? So it is doable. But again, there's that different scale level that you can pick from. Right? If you don't want to sweat so much, pick easy. Okay, and then just do the mission complete, and then extract, and you'll get more XP. But if you want, you can also scavenge the whole board itself as well. Dolphin says, I have a question. Okay. Yeah, so the more you know. Let's see. Can they ban you if you do betray your teammates? The host of the game, Dolphin, can kick you if you're on a stranger's host. Like, one person's the host. So if you shoot them and you're being a dick, then yeah, they could kick you if they wanted to. But I don't think they would, unless you're literally doing it on purpose. All right. So the next thing that we're talking about this morning, if you guys like what we do here, we do this Monday through Thursday. So make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member. Let's go on, Takashi. All right, so fans think Sea of Thieves' latest tweet is hinting towards PlayStation and Switch ports. Okay? Now, obviously, we talked about this for the last couple days. Actually, the last couple weeks. I said that Sea of Thieves, when they did the rumor about 2 weeks ago, I said I could see Sea of Thieves coming to PlayStation, right? And then the update that they did, I said I could see it even more because it makes sense, because it seems more new player friendly what they're trying to do, right? Now, it's been on Xbox for 5 years and PC for 5 years. So let's move it over to other platforms. Now, here's what they're saying, okay? So a Valentine's Day message is being interpreted as a multi-format tease. A number of Sea of Thieves fans believe that the latest tweet from the game's official X account is hinting on upcoming PlayStation and Twitch ports. Or, did I say Twitch? Switch ports. The message, which is based on traditional Valentine's Day, roses are red, violets are blue rhyme, is being interpreted as teasing relating rumors that Microsoft plans to bring the game to Sony and Nintendo's console. Now, it reads, rowboats are red, and sometimes they're blue, other times they're green, and occasionally they can be white. Wait, where was I going with this? Okay, so they generally agree that Xbox is associated with green, Nintendo is with red, and PlayStation is with blue, while white is sometimes attributed towards neutral or PC format. So it could be the reference of Epic Games Store. Okay. Numerous replies to tweets suggest that reference recent reports that Sea of Thieves is one of the number of games that could be coming to PlayStation and Nintendo systems. Now, the Switch is red, PlayStation is blue. One of these platforms is going to reply one Xbox user. So there's the tweet. Rowboats are red. Sometimes they're blue. Other times they're green, and occasionally they can be white. Okay? So last month, Nate and Hate podcast, Microsoft was planning to bring one of the most acclaimed first-party games competing platforms this year. Now, I think a lot of people, when they say most acclaimed, they think of like a whole bunch of other games. They don't think of actual Sea of Thieves. Now, responding to the claim, Giant Bomb's Jeff Grubb said Rare Sea of Thieves could be set to make a jump from Sony to Nintendo's consoles. Now, a lot of people were talking about it started with Hi-Fi Rush, went to Sea of Thieves, then they said they're going all third party, and now they're getting rid of the console, and Xbox is closing down. That's a really bad game of telephone if I've ever heard one, okay? So Sea of Thieves He says, I'll say I heard that one of them might be coming to other platforms. He said, at the time, when I first started hearing these rumors, I was like, it's probably about Sea of Thieves because I heard that it could be having a Switch and a PlayStation. Okay. In the industry newsletter GameFile, former Kotaku editor Axos reported that Stephen Totolo also said last month that he has also been told that the source of Microsoft is considering bringing Sea of Thieves Thieves to PlayStation, probably for early 2024 release. Now, the claims are also shown no sign of sinking or resurfacing again this week, thanks to The Verge, who claimed that Hi-Fi Rush, Pentiment, and Sea of Thieves are being planned for release on rival platforms. Now, Microsoft has announced plans to deliver the Xbox Business Update in February 15th, when it looks to set address speculations that plans to bring more games to rival platforms. So, that podcast is tomorrow, okay? 100%, a couple weeks ago, on this live show that we do, Monday through Thursday, I said I think Sea of Thieves is coming to PlayStation and maybe the Switch, right? It makes sense. 5 years. They have tons of people that are playing the game. They made the changes for the new season. I said I could see it going over to PlayStation, and it just makes sense, right? Because now more people will play Sea of Thieves. And on top of that, I said 2 weeks ago, I said it would make sense if it's coming to PlayStation right before Skull and Bones launches, okay? Now, you look at this and go, why would they do that? Well, if you guys remember, Skull and Bones was supposed to launch the same year as Sea of Thieves back in 2018, but then it got delayed, right? And Sea of Thieves took off as the pirate game, right? So now Skull and Bones is coming out, and they've revamped this game multiple times. Well, it's on all platforms. Skull and Bones is on every platform. I don't think it's on the Switch, right? But it's on PlayStation, it's on PC, it's on Xbox. So Xbox is looking at this going, wait a minute, pirate game coming out, it's on all platforms. We need to compete. We need to move Sea of Thieves on all platforms just like Skull and Bones so we can compete. Sort of like a Battlefield versus Call of Duty. Yes, they're totally two different games, but yet they're both in the same genre of pirate theme. Okay? So Skull and Bones is coming out Friday. The podcast is on Thursday. Does this mean that tomorrow they announce that Sea of Thieves is coming tomorrow? Right? And they launch it and it's on PlayStation? Or is it coming down in a couple months later? I would think that they would try to compete up against Ubisoft and put Sea of Thieves out there as Skull and Bones is just coming out because they would rather have people play Sea of Thieves than go play a Skull and Bones game. But these are just my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments section down below. Please make sure you share, like, and subscribe. And if you like what we do here, make sure you check out some of our other videos. Thanks for watching. What do you think, chat? What do you think? Do you think that Sea of Thieves is coming out tomorrow on PlayStation? And this is why they're doing the podcast. And right after they say the podcast, they'll be like, hey, it's coming to PlayStation. And voila, it's there. Just the day before Skull and Bones comes out on all platforms. And it's probably going to be a lot cheaper than $70. Yeah, I think Sea of Thieves at one point, wasn't it just $40? I bought it when it first came out, even though it was on Game Pass. I think it was $40, if I'm not mistaken. Krebsy says, I don't think it's Sea of Thieves is going on other platforms tomorrow. Eventually. Okay? Yeah, Sea of Thieves is a $40 game. Deluxe Edition is $50. Maybe there's a report feature, but you're almost guaranteed to get kicked out by the host. I kick a prick today. Yeah, I think that would happen in Helldivers too. Yeah. If you kill somebody and it looks like purposely, or maybe they just don't want to get killed, no communication, they could kick you, right? The dude says Sea of Thieves will do well on PlayStation 5. I hope so. Oh, I think it will. For sure. For sure. The only way look, gamers like games. The only way I see people not liking Sea of Thieves is because they're like, well, I don't want an Xbox game on my PlayStation type of thing, which is just kind of silly, I think. Makes sense now. Instead of shock dropping a game at the developer direct, they shock drop older titles on other platforms. Perhaps. I think Sea of Thieves is one of the better games ever created. I honestly do, Kashi. Just the what you can do, it literally captures what gaming is about. Like, go on an adventure, have fun, do your thing. You know what I mean? Like, the only thing I disagree with in that game is that they force PvP on you. But at the same time, I agree that the PvP needs to be there. But now they've done things in the game where they kind of go around that now. So people don't feel like their time is being shit on. They're kind of respecting your time more. Because you can dig up and get reputation now for just digging up the treasure without turning it in. So at least you're getting something instead of nothing. Right? At least you're getting gold instead of nothing. Sea of Thieves doesn't need to compete with Skull and Bones. I would think Sea of Thieves going to, for PlayStation in 2 months, would do better competing with Skull and Bones. Sure, but competition is what makes these things go. I mean, again, my statement where they were both coming out in the same exact year. And then Skull and Bones backed down, and now they've been working on it for 5 years on top of that. And they're coming out Friday. I don't know. I find it just odd that all of a sudden the rumors are it's going on to the next platform, and Skull and Bones comes out Friday. Might be nothing. And you might be 100% correct, Krezi. Maybe it's nothing. Maybe Sea of Thieves comes down 3 months from now, 2 months from now. But I'll tell you what, when I played Skull and Bones, it made me want to play Sea of Thieves. And if I play Skull and Bones on PlayStation and go, oh, Skull and Bones, let me try the other pirate game that just came out on PlayStation. It doesn't cost as much. I don't know. One has a reputable review process. Like, Sea of Thieves is a fun game, been out for 5 years, it's established, and one is brand new and nobody really knows what's going on with it. And it's been in delay. It's been in development hell for 10 years. The dude says, I have not owned a PlayStation since the PlayStation 1, which I still have to play on. I still have the game Master System. I'm buying a PlayStation 5 soon, though it is time. Waiting for the Pro. You got maybe the end of this year? Maybe the end of this year? I think they made a couple of good balances over the 5 years for Sea of Thieves, though, Takashi. One, they threw in an all PvP area. Then they got rid of the all PvP area. Then they merged the PvP area where if you're looking for PvP, someone can opt in to be a PvP player, okay? And then you can just go against PvP versus PvP, okay? And then loser gets kicked out of the server, and then that winner gets to stay in that server, or they can go dive down again and come into a different server and fight another person with a PvP tag. Now, the person that are just doing PvE, that want to kind of just explore the world and do their stuff, they can also do that, but they also have to watch out in the if they just want to do story, they can do story. If they want to just sail around the world and have that in the back of their head, someone could come and attack them, that's there as well. So they've done a nice little balance, I think, with Sea of Thieves. They have the Safer Seas now. Safer Seas, I play with my son. He absolutely loves it, that we're not going to get attacked, right? He's a 9-year-old kid. He doesn't want to argue and fight with other people. He just wants to play the game, explore the island and stuff like that. And that's up to level 40. So there's plenty of game that he could play now without being bothered. So the Safer Seas is a fantastic addition, in my opinion, for them. Now, you know that I don't like Skull and Bones, right? But I'm not going to make 9 videos, because that's not the type of content I make. Okay, I'm not going to make 9 videos on Skull and Bones saying how bad it is, and I'm going to shit all over it, right? I, on this channel, like to give information. So I played Skull and Bones, gave you my thoughts on it, and now someone has played the end game or is going to tell us how the end game works. Okay. Links in the description of the person's channel. We're listening to Tommy Boy 601. Got 18,000 subscribers. He's got the helm overview of the end game activity in Skull and Bones. Okay. I want to make sure that I, as a gamer, regardless if I like the game or not, some of you are going to like this game. Okay. I try to give you as much information as possible so you can make your choices with your money, how you choose to spend it. Okay. And he has answers for the end game. Now, I haven't watched this video yet. Okay. I was like, oh, end game activities. Let's watch it together on stream and give you my thoughts on if it's good or bad. Because I only played the early game, right? I only played the early game, and I thought it was very repetitive of what it was. Okay. Again, that word repetitive is different amongst different games. Okay. If you see the curtain and the wizards behind it, some people see it faster than others. This doesn't appeal to me. I rather, when I played this game, go play Sea of Thieves than play Skull and Bones. But here we go. Okay. So let me lower the music. Put this video up. Let's see how the end game, what's going to happen in the end game.
Been hiding what could be considered the end game activity for Skull and Bones. Today, we're going to dive deep into the Helm, the secretive organization that pulls the strings of the Skull and Bones universe, explain what you need to know, how to make the best money, and just give an overview on this organization. So if that sounds good, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's dive
now the game,
on in. So what is the Helm? Well, for those of you...
The game is not out yet. It comes out the 16th. These people have played, and he's giving you his opinion on what he thinks, because they're hiding what the end game is. So let's listen to him.
You that played the Skull and Bones beta, it's probably right where you left off, and things seemed a little bit fishy with a certain tavern in the main town. But for all intents and purposes, what the Helm is GTA Online's businesses brought into a pirate's life. That's right. If you've spent any time in GTA Online, businesses are been a cornerstone of the money-making world of that game. The optimization...
So you're in Grand Theft Auto, you would be a gun runner or a club owner or casino owner. You have a business. Volume up more. All right. So you have a business that you're going to be running in the end game of Skull and Bones. So you're going to be basically, I would assume, like if you were running alcohol, now you're running some sort of goods in this as well.
Running of them has been
Let me rewind a little bit so we can hear it.
GTA Online, businesses are been a cornerstone of the money-making world of that game. The optimization and running of them has been a topic for entire YouTube channels, and the Helm is just those businesses brought into Skull and Bones. To unlock the first Helm office, you can speak to Yanita, who is the tavern lady over in the first town, after you've reached Infamy Tier 6. Once unlocked, she'll put you through several onboarding contracts to kind of get you familiar with everything. There are 2 Helm offices within Skull and Bones, one in Santa Ana, the main city, and the other in Tuluk, which is overseen by Yanita's sister, Hauma. Each of these locations for the Helm will have 4 different kinds of facilities located in them, and you can fast travel to them by holding the right bumper while in port. The 4 facilities...
You know my biggest problem with Skull and Bones? Besides going to the outposts, you're a boat. You're a boat. Like, you'd never get outside of the boat. You would think this would be right up my alley, right? Because I like playing American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator and Snow Runners where I'm just a car, right? But for some reason, this doesn't appeal to me because I got to go around doing a mini game to chop a tree down, right? I don't know.
These are going to be the Helm Empire, the Supply Network, the Order Registry, and the Distillery. And to explain what all of those do, I'm going to go ahead and run you through the sort of gameplay loop you can expect to encounter when trying to make progress with the Helm.
The graphics look great, though, don't they?
The first is going to be the Supply Network. This is where you're going to pick up supplies in order to make your illicit goods. There are multiple kind of activities that you can do in order to acquire these supplies.
See, this is right up my alley. Taking goods from one place to another. Fantastic, right? This would be right up 30's alley. I'm just a shipping container guy. That'd be a great game. Shipping Container Simulator. Where you at?
There's supply deals, which are just meeting someone at a random outpost and picking them up. You can usually fast travel. These are very quick. You have mobile dealers, which are just helm folks out on the open ocean that you can meet and buy stuff from. You have rogue hunters, which basically there is a small convoy that you can then attack, and you'll know that they have those materials on it. And finally, there's the option of plundering forts. You can attack forts, and those are going to...
Okay. I'm trying to listen to them, but I'm losing it. It's like I'm losing it. It's because I have no interest. I'm being very honest here. I'm trying to listen to what the in-game stuff is, right? So I'm running stuff across the ocean. Okay, I can do forts that I can't get out, so I got to shoot the forts from a distance, right?
Hunters, which basically there is...
Okay, you got hunters that you're going after, sort of like Division.
A small convoy that you can then attack, and you'll know that they have those materials on it. And finally, there's the option of plundering forts.
Okay.
You can attack forts, and those are going to have the most material held within them. And you may be saying, Tommy, what sort of goods and services can I offer from the helm? What am I making? Well, I'll give you a hint. So far, the two inputs I found are sugarcane and poppy.
Ooh, poppy. Okay, that means you're making drugs.
So rum and opium, folks.
There you go, opium. Right, you're making opium.
Yeah, that's right, in the Indian Ocean. Shout out to Ubisoft for apparently just being like, there's a certain world leader who is very much stuck on the century of humiliation that he thinks his country suffered over the opium wars. Let's make a game where it's all about peddling the opium. That's right. So, foreign countries be damned, I guess. The objective, the end game of Skull and Bones is to make rum and opium. The distilleries basically...
Is he making a joke, or is that actually what it is?
You can upgrade them, but starting out, you're going to make White Skull rum.
I know in real life that's what it is. I'm saying is that actually what it is? You're literally just running opium?
Rum and Blue Lotus opium. You will then be able to upgrade the facilities to produce things like Gold Skull rum, White Skull gin, Black Snuff, White Snuff, Gold Skull gin, Gold Skull rum. Yeah, so gin, rum, snuff, and opium are the four products that you will produce out of the helm, and then you will deliver them. How do you know where to deliver them to? Well, you go to an order registry, and in the background of the footage, you'll be seeing what we are doing. Essentially, what occurs is you pick a location that you can deliver things to, and you will have to travel there. And while you're traveling there, there's going to be enemies that are going to attack you.
Okay.
And it very much does feel like a Grand Theft Auto on.
I hope that the same people that gave Suicide Squad's Endgame, where I'm running on rooftops and doing the same activities over and over again, have the same energy as Skull and Bones. All you're doing is running across the ocean, doing the same 3 activities from one point to the next. If I don't hear that from the same people that said that to the other game, we're going to have a talking.
Online car delivery mission, except this time you're a drug runner in the age of sail. Like I said, it's a bit wild. So once you've basically crafted and distilled the items, it does take quite a bit of time in order for the items to be made, so it kind of lets you go play the rest of
So there's timers on the things that have to be made as well?
the game while the items are being made, and then you can make these deliveries to then earn bonus currency. You do have the option to either sell the goods outright for a fairly high amount of silver, or to run a delivery route which you will have to run. There's no fast traveling to the delivery points with these. And when you do that, you're going to earn a unique currency that can be spent within the helm. Now, there's 2 ways to spend money within the helm. The first is within the final facility, which is the Helm Empire. Within this is like your business management section.
But what am I doing? Right? Okay, I get it. I like the transportation between one point to the next, right? But what am I doing? Am I just doing this to get my infamy level up so I become the pirate legend, the pirate captain, the pirate whatever? Like, what? What is the end game? Why am I running opium across the ocean 1,000 times to make an empire? What am I doing? What makes me special?
It's going to allow you to upgrade your empire, improve your stats, improve how quick things distill, improve the quality of the stills, stuff like that. Or you can then also spend this coinage in the black market. The black market tends to have some rare items, some valuable items, ones that I assume are going to...
I saw it before. Are those torpedoes? Are those torpedoes? Now I want the same energy level from the fans out there that don't think that DC's lore is correct. Meanwhile, there's torpedoes and pirates.
Going to be kind of the most powerful weapons of the game and equipment for your ships. So it kind of pokes you and prods you into doing this so that you have the most powerful ship to take on people with. So that is the helm in a nutshell. Like I said, it's surprising. I'll be honest, I was not seeing, I had not predicted GTA boats being the final destination for this game, but Ubisoft does seem...
GTA boats. Grand Theft Boating. GTB.
To be committed to kind of, this is the end game / shared universe area moving forward. I definitely foresee a world where instead of just NPCs knowing when you're making these sort of supply runs, they let other players know as well, and they try to sync you, and they're going to think that's fun, and it's going to be just...
I hated those missions in Grand Theft Auto. I hated those missions when you did something and then everybody on the online would know that you were doing it and would come after you. I hated that.
It's like GTA, where you have to find a server where no one cares. It's wild. It's wild. Anyways, guys, if you like this video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day.
Okay. I'm a little lost on what that game is, because the exact same thing that I did in the 4.5 hours I did in the beginning of the game seems like you're doing the exact same thing in hour 30, 40, 100, but instead of getting wood and like coconuts, I'm now getting sugar and poppy seeds and then distilling those to make them, certain things so I can then put those across to get more money. And I get I could break that down for a lot of different games and be very generalistic and very, just like, oh, it's a gun game, you're just shooting. Like, I understand there's a generalistic of that. But it doesn't seem like anything special. And I'm trying to break it down in Sea of Thieves as well, right? In Sea of Thieves, it doesn't matter because I'm not leveling up. I'm trying to become pirate captain, but while you're becoming pirate captain, you're on these adventures. You're getting off the boat. You're fighting guys on the island. You're exploring. You're doing puzzles. There's like story. There's all these different things you can do. And that was on day one. That wasn't 5 years later. There was story elements. There was different things. Well, actually, the story came a little bit later. Okay. But there was still things to do. This seems like you're on a boat. And when you're not on a boat, you're in a menu system that you're walking around in. Okay? And that's the problem. You're on a boat the entire time. You are the boat. Skull and drugs. To be fair, I don't think folks criticizing Suicide Squad are the same crowd, Skull and Bones fans. No. I'm talking about the reviewers, Takashi. I'm not talking about the fans. I'm talking about IGN and the other outlets saying that all you're doing is running around on rooftops and suicide squads. So I just want the same energy level from those people. They wrote that down and said all you're doing is running around the rooftops doing the same 4 missions. So I want to make sure they say the exact same thing for Skull and Bones. All you're doing is riding on the ocean doing the same 4 missions. Come on, Mr. Luke. We have Skull and Bones. Yeah, we just listened to what the end game could be, and let me tell you, it's as exciting as it sounds. Exciting as it sounds. It's that perfect triangle. That perfect triangle of you've done all of this in the game down here, and now the last 2 things you're gonna do is that you're running opium. That's it. You're running high-end supplies across the ocean. Is that true? Is that true? An 87 from IGN? Is the review out? No. There are reviews out, but like 2 weeks ago, I don't think there's an actual review yet. I don't think the embargo lifted yet. How could it? It's a live service game. The way he made it sound, Luke, was that basically it's Grand Theft Auto Online, but in boats. So in Grand Theft Auto Online, you would pick up like a high-end target, right, to go across the map, and then everybody on the map would know that you have it, and they would come after you. That's what he's saying that would happen here. Now, he doesn't know if it's going to be just the NPCs, or if it's going to be also the players in there as well. Well, maybe they'll add that, Paul, if the game makes it, right? Everybody says if Skull and Bones was set during the 1880s, 1900, torpedoes would be possible, but the game is set during the golden age of pirates, aka 1600, 1750-ish. That isn't possible. Well, that's where it comes into... What did it say in the comics? What did it say in the comics of pirates? You haven't seen that with a straight face. And I want... Look, I gave it a fair shot for 4.5 hours. Okay? I'm not trying to shit on anyone's parade about Skull and Bones. I gave my info about Skull and Bones, and I think people that buy it ahead of time should know that this game's incomplete and it'll be better. I said I'll play it down the line. It'll be fixed in 8, 12, 18 months. If it's on sale or Game Pass, I will give it a shot down the road, but I'm not getting this when it comes out. What's going on, Winzo? But they didn't hold the standard with Skull and Bones. The article was praising it a lot more. Oh, was there an IGN article? See, I said a couple, about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I said I would no longer read IGN's reviews on my channel. Because even though it's their opinion, which is fine, to say straight up lies about other games and comparing it to it, that is false. Factually false. I refuse to. I don't care if they give 5s and 7s. It has nothing to do with that. Right? So I won't be covering IGN reviews on my channel anymore. Now, if they have other articles talking about other topics and it's not a review, I'll still use their articles. But I'm not using their reviews anymore. And you know what? They won't miss it. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? Getting clicks. Gonna be honest here, the game seems outdated already. Would be kind of cool if it came back around 2000 or so. I mean, I think if it came out in 2018 when Sea of Thieves came out, I think we would have had a different story because the game has completely changed 4 times. 4 times. This was a world of ships. War world ships right? War of Ships, World of Ships. Okay, that's what it was with pirates. And now they've kind of like changed it to what it is now after they changed it 3 other times. This will be the gold standard for quadruple 4 games. That's right. This is a quadruple A game. They said it. They said it was a quadruple A game. I want to see the same efforts for trash talking that would put to Suicide Squad. Fair is fair. That's what I'm saying. Just make sure if you take a broad stroke of all you're doing is running around an open world map, fighting on top of rooftops with the 4 same missions. Skull and Bones is an ocean you're running around in, okay? And this is not the Black Flag game we wanted. Fair is fair. 10 years. See? 10 years, not 8. 10. To be fair, the last video I watched of IGN, the British guy that gave the review, I had no problem with most of his review. I had no problem with most of his review. It's when he said that Marvel's Avengers had more Endgame than Suicide Squad. I went, boy, do you have no idea what you're talking about. To put that in there, that's a shot fired towards Avengers was bad. This is worse. Okay? And it wasn't worse. It's not worse. That's factually false. There was no Endgame in Marvel's Avengers. Exactly, Jason. So why, as a person that played that game and knowing that it didn't have an end game, and this person comes out and says, well, this game had better end game than this, even if that's a shot of a jokingly like, yeah, they didn't have end game, and this has got worse end game than that, is just wrong, because that's not how a review should be done. It should be talked about how the game is, not what it's going up against, what it isn't, right? So, look, for me, you guys want to go watch and react to, there's plenty of people that'll watch the IGN reviews. I will no longer look at any IGN review. I will look at their articles talking about certain topics and stuff like that. But if it's a review of a game, it will not be coming from them on my channel. Quadruple A, just give me Black Flag. Well, some of the devs team got a nice meal ticket for 10 years working on this, right? Yeah, Mr. Luke. To me, I'm okay if you're allowed to give your opinion. You're allowed to give your opinion, but when you give facts, or I should say fiction as facts, that's the problem. The biggest issue with an outlet is it always going to be different from people reviewing a game with totally different tastes. Sure, and I have no problem that someone doesn't like a game that I don't like. It's about giving the wrong information to compare it to make that game sound worse. Jones says, I haven't trusted mainstream reviews in years. Go on, Mo. Tom Frank says it's true. Purpose is to still controversy, not relay information. Exactly. Right? And that's my problem. They did, no matter what people think, it's not a conspiracy. They did 45 tweets. 45 tweets with reviews, articles, bashing Suicide Squad. 45 tweets in 30 days. No other game has had that happen. And there's games out there that came out broke, buggy, unfinished, right? right? Games that were much, much bigger, that had much, much more problems. But because it's DC and because it's a live service game, they had some sort of vendetta against it. Okay? You can't, it's all about context, Tom. You're allowed to say Suicide Squad kill the Justice League. If you just say suicide in the context of stuff, then yes, they could bop you, right? It's context. I've stopped listening to people in a lot of the media. Jay-Z Tech, Linus Tech Tips, IGN, because they're continuously uses inaccurate information to spread bad ideas. And I think at some point, again, I'm a small content creator. I'm a small YouTuber. I don't know if they change. I know how Hollywood is. I know working from Hollywood and working on films and television shows with different production companies, I know how that works, and it's not too far off what YouTube is. YouTube is Hollywood, is new Hollywood. Right? So when people start making money and start getting paid the bills from certain things, that's what happens. CJ Worm says IGN reviews games for what they want the game to be instead of what the game is. Yeah. Even Destin in his review, and his review was actually pretty good. He talked about the Endgame in the very beginning of his review. Okay? In his review, he was like, well, what they did with Superman, they could have done this. And he gave his own thing from the comic series of what he wanted the game to be. And that, as fans, you can imagine, we do this all the time on GXG. Can you imagine if they made this game a G.I. Joe Battlefield game with Cobra G.I. Joe? Like, of course, there's things like that, right? And that's just fans being fans. But to fundamentally say this is bad and my idea here is better than this, and this is why I gave it a bad review, because it wasn't this thing that I had up in my head, is silly, right? Obviously, Battlefield's problems is, right? Battlefield 2042, me and Sarge don't give it crap because it's not a G.I. Joe versus Cobra game, right? We give it problems because when it came out, it was broke, buggy, unfinished. They were fixing the maps 18 months after the game came out. It was hitching problems. You were shoot things, right? There's a lot of problems with that game. Where's the 45 articles from that? Nope. No 45 articles for that. It's like 12, right? Cyberpunk had a worse score than Suicide Squad on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox Series X. Or, I'm sorry, on the Xbox One. Nobody talked about it. There was like one article about it, and they moved on. Yeah, we talked about it first thing in the morning, Winzo. We talked about the Suicide Squad patch. Look at this. 57. 61. Right? Where's all those stuff there? Right? Where's the articles? Where's all the stuff that happened back then 3 years ago? Right? Here's Suicide Squad. Right? Xbox Series X, 60. PlayStation 5, 60. PC, 64. Okay? I will say IGN isn't wrong. All these companies that are known for single-player games need to understand that the live service asks from the company before jumping in firsthand. But that's, you're not... Do you understand the problem, though, with their reviews, Krebsy? They're upset that it's a live service game, not what the live service game is. Do you understand the difference? They're criticizing the game because they don't want it to be a live service game, not because what the live service game is and what it does. They're reviewing the story. They're reviewing the story like it's a single-player game and not a continuation on the next season. Right? Did one mission. Looks like we got our 10K credits on Helldivers 2. Oh, did they give credits because of the server issues? Who reviews Suicide Squad for IGN? It's different people all the time. It's different people all the time, Robert. There's the problem. You're stuck on Suicide Squad when the article is talking more about than just Rocksteady. When you're doing a review of the game, Krebsy, you shouldn't bring up the industry and what live service is. You're supposed to just review the game. In their review, article and video, and the videos they made afterwards, was all about how it's not a Batman game and how it's a live service game. They have multiple reviews of the same game. The grief is real. Free credits also a server issue, just saving face. Yeah, well, I mean, I've only been playing for like a couple hours, and then I get the points, or I get the credits. Cool. All right, let me see what else we got here. Tomorrow, what time is the thing tomorrow? It's 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 p.m. I won't be live. We'll have to talk about it on GXG. Because it comes out, the podcast tomorrow is at 3 p.m., 12 Eastern, or is it 12 Eastern, 9 Pacific? Yeah, I think tomorrow it stays exactly how I've said for 5 years what they're doing, and now they're just doing it. I say that they take their multiplayer games and put them on third party. I mean, they already have it, like Minecraft, and now the Call of Duty games that they purchased with Activision. Sea of Thieves moves over. I think certain games move. It'll be on Xbox first, 6 months to a year, day and date on Game Pass and whatnot, and then it'll move to the other third party stuff. But if it's a live service game, then it'll move on day and date moving forward. And I do think that Sea of Thieves is doing it tomorrow. Right? I'll do one of my, my predictions. I think Sea of Thieves comes to before Sea of Thieves, before Skull and Bones launches on Friday. I think Sea of Thieves comes to PlayStation maybe the same day. They'll be like, tomorrow, Sea of Thieves is coming out on Friday. How beefy of a PC do you need for Helldivers? I'm not going to tell you off the top of my head. I have a 3060 with 32 gigs of RAM. So let me go to the Steam page. I'll let you know. I did, Luke. I watched you to get it. Yep, I watched you to get it. Helldivers says system requirements required 64-bit processor operating system, Windows 10, Intel Core i7 4790 is K, or AMD Radeon 5 1500, memory 8 gigs, graphic card GTX 1050 Ti or AMD Radeon RX 470 with storage 100 gigabyte available space. Recommended is i7 9700, ADM Radeon 7 3700, 16 gigs of RAM, graphics GeForce 2060 or higher, or AMD Radeon RX 6600. Additional notes, SSD recommended. $1050 Ti or better. Yeah. I played 2 PCs in my house, one fairly old and lame, and I was able to work on settings to play just fine. Yeah, I was very surprised. Next time I stream, I'm going to put my camera on because it looked like it ran pretty damn smooth on stream last night. So, I can't wait for the backtracking, spinning, crying, lying. It's gonna be a clown show. If you notice, I didn't really cover this topic, right? Because I don't like. There's a lot of stories that we get submitted for GXG and for other things, and I try not to cover a lot of them because when me and Sarge sit down right before the show, I'll read the article, like I'll read the title of the article, and he's like, "That's not news. That's not news." A lot of the stuff is not news. It's rumors, and we do rumors, speculations, grain of salt type of stuff. But there's so much misinformation going around as far as, literally, it was like a bad game of telephone. It was like, Hi-Fi Rush on. I heard they're putting Starfield on Switch. I heard Xbox is closing down. I heard they're becoming a third party and they're just backing out of the whole thing. It's like, what happened? Like, how did it get out of control? Right. And that was my thing on the podcast on Friday last week. I said, you guys are talking like it's official. And they're like, well, the sources. I'm like, sources are sources until they're proven confirmed. Right? So, sure, you can say what you want, but until the actual people come out and confirm it, those are just that. Sources and rumors. And everyone's always like, 30 doesn't like answering the question. No, I don't like taking my foot and shoving it in my mouth because you like say something and then someone comes back and says, see what you said? Even a fart has a source. Sure. But if there's 10 people in the room and we all farted and it's a silent but deadly and no one admits to it, you know someone farted, you just don't know the source. It all started with Hi-Fi Rush on PlayStation and Nintendo from data mine. It ended up being Xbox no longer doing consoles and hardware. Yeah, that's a hell of a leap. It's a hell of a leap. Whoever smelt it, dealt it. Is what I always say. Choose to play Helldivers 2 on PC over PlayStation 5, and glad I did. Performance has been great. Yeah, I said this earlier, Takashi, before you even came in. I said, I'm so glad that PlayStation took one of their games and put it over on PC, because I was interested when they first showed it last year. I said, oh, is that only on PlayStation? And someone said, no, it's on PC and PlayStation. So I was like, oh, fantastic, I get to play it. Otherwise, it'd just be another game that I'm looking out from the outside like a window, like a puppy, and be like, I want to play it, because I'm not going to spend $500 buying a $40 game for Helldivers, right? That's not a system seller, right? But I'm having a blast, and I'm glad it's on PC. I also think 20 people can say X will happen, but one person says it won't. And a lot of people like to see that one person said it isn't happening. Ignore the 20 other people. Sure, but at the same time, everyone has a guy, right? If 20 people say it, okay, but the source is the one person that said it, but everyone's source is different, because this one person told this one, and then this person told 5 people, and then those 5 people were the sources for the other people, but they got the information wrong. I mean, we have people, Krebsy, that come in here that can't even read the first sentence of a paragraph. They read the title of an article and they run with it. They don't even read the rest of the article. All I'm saying is that it's not official or confirmed unless someone comes out. If someone comes out afterwards and says, this is confirmed, I'd be like, see, I told you the source was correct. I'd be like, great. Up until that point, he wasn't. This is why sources become credible or not credible. Deal Dash says PlayStation 5 only $20. Oh, is it from Temu? My outlook for this whole thing hasn't changed. It was actually the exact same years ago when I said what Microsoft is doing. There's no difference in what my thought process was 4 or 5 years ago to what it is today. Microsoft is going to put their games on a case-by-case basis across other consoles, and they want Game Pass everywhere. Never let the truth get into the way of a good story, Mike. That's right. Respect the janitors. And I'll take it. I'll take it, Altern. I don't need the approval from everybody else. I don't. Yeah, it's 9 gigs, but there's not much in that patch notes, Luke. Not 9 gigs worth. There's like 9 lines of bug fixes and 9 gigs. So there's a lot of stuff either they're not telling us or something. How would you feel about multiplayer mode like Infinite on a PlayStation 5? I wouldn't care. How does it affect me? I mean that, Titan. How does it affect me? If I was a Halo fan, right, and I've already been playing this entire time on Xbox, and now they're like, yeah, we're opening up multiplayer to PlayStation 5. Why would I care as an Xbox person? Because they lied to me as a person? You know what I mean? It doesn't matter to me. I think it'd be great. I think it's good. More players can play the game. Someone said it's like 30 gigs on PC. There's no way. There's no way, right, that these patch notes right here. Hold on, let me... Where is it? Side Squad. How is this right here? This is what it is. Look, I'll shrink it. That's it. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lines of what they're changing. That's 30 gigs. Those things right there are 30 gigs fixed on PC and 9 gigs on console. Just temper your expectations. I dive deeper into the Discord, but expect tomorrow, then confirming every title in question. You're expecting a much. So we'll say bare minimum. Of course, because I think the internet has literally made it worse and much more bigger deal than it actually is. Oh, did you make a movie quote? Did I miss it, dude? Hold on, let me see. We guard you while you sleep. Do not fuck with us. I don't know what that is from. I don't know what movie that's from. Someone data mine it for the Joker DLC. The whole slate is coming eventually? The whole slate of what? Every first-party title? I don't think so. I'll stay back exactly what I said 4 years ago. Or was it 3 years ago? It's before they bought Bethesda, right? I said that each game will be on a case-by-case basis, and this is before Phil Spencer said case-by-case, right? It all depends on what the game is and how much of a reach it would have. Oh, Fight Club. Because you say the whole slate is coming. Meaning if one of those games doesn't come, then you're wrong. You see what I'm saying? You saying the whole slate, you're saying, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, I'm asking. You're saying like Fable, the next Halo game, the next flight simulator, all of those things you think are coming to PlayStation sometime down the road. If one of those games doesn't come out, then you're wrong with saying all of them are coming out. Yeah, keep Redfall. Redfall needs a sale, or they keep it at high price, Titan, so you can get Game Pass and try it out for $10. Make a problem, sell the solution. I could see a few Bethesda games coming to PlayStation and Activision games coming. Yeah, but why is that a shocker considering Bethesda, right? And I said this a while ago. I said Starfield's exclusive until it's not, right? Obviously, even if they move it out right now, 6 months later, they come out tomorrow and say Starfield's on PlayStation tomorrow. You still had it for 6 months exclusive, right? But I think it'll be more towards a year. But Bethesda's always been on all platforms. Well, not always. It was on Xbox, just on Xbox a while back. I can see a few Bethesda games coming to PlayStation and Activision games coming. Well, Activision games are already out. I don't think there's any Activision games that are not. What does Mo think? I think the rumblings of rebranding Xbox might be a thing, or Game Pass at least. The rumblings of people saying that it might turn from Xbox Game Pass to Microsoft Game Pass, which is fine. Mo says that you're crazy thinking everything is going. Yeah, I said this a couple weeks ago, Mo. I think Sea of Thieves, like a multiplayer thing, especially it's 5 years. It's 5 years later. Why wouldn't they move Sea of Thieves over to PlayStation? You know what I mean? Like I can see that happening. Minecraft Dungeons is already over there. Okay, it was there day and date, right? It was a third party. So when Xbox, they say Xbox is going to third party publisher, they've already been a third party publisher, and Sony's already been a third party publisher. I love these people that always come out and say, well, you're becoming a third-party publisher. They've already been a third-party publisher for literally like a decade. Like a decade. When did they buy Minecraft? Yeah, it's all going 30? Okay. Yeah, I knew there was one. I thought it was I thought it was Morrowind or Oblivion. I forget which one it was. But that was just an Xbox game back in the day. If you have to ask, you don't want to know. I'm not, Dolphin, because if it happens at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I can't. We'll just cover it at GXG tomorrow night, which is the Kinger and me. Once you put Starfield or Indiana Jones on PlayStation, just move everything over. But why? For all it to go would take years. So kind of loading the deck, it will say just keep waiting until the titles are still coming. Sure, but I'm pretty confident that not everything will go over. It just needs one thing. I would rather take that bet. Because one thing, only one thing doesn't have to go over, and I would be right. Where L's saying everything is eventually going to come over. I still think they keep the day and date with Game Pass. If certain games come out from like Bethesda, it'll be on. I mean, PlayStation does this right now, right? They buy time exclusive or they get something, right? For instance, the Hogwarts Legacy mission or the Destiny strikes that they had. They paid for exclusivity for 1 year, right? Now it's not their game, okay, but it was they bought time exclusive. So same thing will happen here, right? They'll put stuff and put it on Game Pass day and date. And then 6 months, 8 months, 12 months later, certain games will come out on other platforms. Right. Redfall lands on no way Redfall lands on PlayStation. I think the best strategy for Microsoft is to port what they want to PlayStation and Switch for $70 and then say included in Game Pass to increase the sub numbers. Right. Right. Make the problem sell the solution. Pay $70 for these games, or you can get Game Pass for $10. I maybe can see Halo Infinite in PlayStation, but how they scale back all the devs from the game, really doubt the one thing that I don't care. I like playing games wherever, right? To me, if I got a Mario on Nintendo, on PlayStation, or Xbox, I'd be okay with that. Now, obviously, as a company, Nintendo wouldn't want that. Okay, so I don't know. Halo, people would get upset if Halo, like the game that started it all for Xbox, move over as a first-party title, moving over. But as a business, I get it. As fans, people would be upset because they feel like they betrayed the 20 years or something. I don't know. I don't have loyalty like that to any company, so. Hell, if I was an investor, which I'm not, right? If I owned stock in a company, I would be more ecstatic because now I'm making more money on my investment. You know what I mean? I do think Game Pass will go up in price soon, though. It just did. You think it's going to go up more? It literally just went up $2 like 6 months ago. All right, look. Welcome to Xbox, noobs. But how many problems they have on the engine on Xbox and PC? Don't see them having devs porting it to PC. Right, but I'm assuming L's talking about like the future, right? When the next Halo game comes out. Not Halo Infinite, but like the next Halo game. Halo 6, Halo 7, or whatever it is, right? That's going to come out on PlayStation. I'm assuming that's what L's saying. Do you think they remove day and date from Game Pass? I don't. They might. I don't believe they will. For sure, Krebsy. For sure. If it's a multiplayer game or a live service game that they're making on the first party titles, 100% they'll jump over to the other platform because they want as many people as possible to play it. Do you remember when Marvel's Avengers didn't have crossplay and then they did? Right? At launch, they didn't have crossplay. Then they did, right? And there was problems where PlayStation's fan base was more people bought on that system, so they had a better, where Xbox didn't. But then if you bought Marvel's Avengers on PC, you could play, right? And you could play across platform, and it helped it out. So of course, if you had more people playing the game, it'd be better. I mean, look at the success at Helldivers what it's getting. If it was just on PlayStation, it wouldn't have the concurrence that it has right now on Steam. Right? Look at all the people that bought it on Steam, right? And a lot of those, I would assume, don't have a PlayStation 5. And if they did, maybe they would buy it. But because it's on PC, they made more money. More people. More people are playing that game because it's across multiple platforms. So now I'll put the next Xbox game that's out there. Obviously, they don't have a lot of people. There's only like 23 million, 25 million people that own a new gen system. So if a game comes out that only runs on the next gen, this gen, okay, and they put it on Steam or put it on PC, there's a better 6.5 million people bought Starfield on PC. 13 million people played it. 6.5 bought it that we know of on PC alone. A lot of them probably double dip. I would say less than you think double dip from PC to PlayStation. I'm not saying they don't, but there's lots of PC users, and there's only 53 million people that have a PlayStation. So I would say less people own a PlayStation that own a PC than do. Oh, that will happen, Mo. That will happen. Single-player games will come out on PC day one day and date for PlayStation in the future. I saw someone on Twitter today go, man, Spider-Man sold 10 million copies only on PlayStation 5. That's crazy. No other game has done that. And I went, every first-party game on Nintendo has done that 5 times over. 5 times over. Like, Zelda sold that double in, like, days. Days. And that right there shows me that people on the internet don't pay attention. They only are in their little echo chamber that they think, like, that's impressive. Don't get me wrong. Spider-Man selling 10 million copies in 3 months, 4 months. That's fantastic. Zelda did that in 3 days. Hey, Nintendo doesn't count. Them the rules. That's right. Mo says, now all of a sudden, PlayStation dudes want Xbox games. I thought they were all trash. Xbox had no games. Kylo says, I generally only double dip when the game goes on sale down the line. And I know I enjoy the game is on Skyrim. At this time, it's been quintuple dipped. How many copies of Hogwarts sold in 3 to 4 months? In the first month they sold. In the first month, I think it sold 15 million copies. But that's across all platforms though. Akuta Papa. Spider-Man's impressive, 10 million. It was just funny. It was like a person was like, "Wow, 10 million copies. No other game has ever done that." It's like, pick a game. Pick any first-party title game on Nintendo. It's done it. And they did it in a week. They did it in a week. Not months. A week. I don't know where it is, Krebsy. It was a reply within the person that posted it. Pokemon sold $23 million, 23 million copies in days as well. Yeah. First party Nintendo sales are in Wild Other League. 80 million copies of Mario Kart have been sold. Yeah, and I think when it first came out, I think it was like 21 million copies sold or some crap like that. Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing sold that many in amount of days. Now, obviously, we were indoors or whatnot, but there was also not as many Switches out there as there is today. There's 133 million Switches out today. Okay? And Animal Crossing, I think when it came out, there was like 50 million. Let's see. Yeah, Animal Crossing, the first 11 days sold 11.77 million units. 11 days sold 11 million units. Like, Nintendo's on a completely other scale. Of course, these other companies are not going to pay attention to Nintendo. Like, no, they're not part of our console war. Right now, Lifetime, right? Lifetime, they have 43.38 million. But the first 11 days, 11.77 million. Nintendo laughs at both Microsoft and Sony when it comes to video game sales. Yeah, people think that the consoles, right? Nintendo smacks. You know that meme with Batman slapping Robin? That's Nintendo slapping the other two. They're like, it's about game sales. Blah. Could you imagine? Could you imagine how many copies would sell if you could play Nintendo games on PC? If the tweet is referring to PlayStation first party, yeah, it's returning. It's talking about first party. Yeah, they were talked about PlayStation 10 million sales, and obviously, I'm not giving shit to Spider-Man for selling 10 million copies. It was just the under a rock type of scenario. We're saying that the first party 10 million, has any game ever done that before, right? Now, it didn't say PlayStation. It just said 10 million first party, right? Has anyone done that before? And it's like, Nintendo's first party games do that every single time it comes out. If you could buy Nintendo on PC, they would have a similar company size of Microsoft. Yeah, I think if you could play Nintendo's first party games on PC, I mean, you can, like emulation wise and stuff like that, and but legally, they would be amazing. Nintendo would be like, they would be like Scrooge McDuck. Forget 11 million copies in 11 days. They would sell like 40 million copies in 11 days. I'm trying to see Animal Crossing. How many? When did Animal Crossing release? Release date was April 14th. No, I'm sorry. That's the wrong one. March 20th, 2020. Okay. How many Switches? How many Nintendo Switches? Let's see. How many Nintendo Switches sold in 2020? In 2020, units sold was 9 million, but sold. I wish there was a chart. Annual Nintendo Switch worldwide, 17 to 2022. Okay, here we go. In 2020, there was 28 million total? Or is that year? No, that's just for that year. 28, 19. So we got 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, about 75 million units out there. And 11 million bought it in day one. And it went on to sell. 43. And there's 133 million units out there for Switches now. And 43 million own Animal Crossing. One third of Nintendo Switch owners own Animal Crossing. Just to put that in perspective. Between Xbox's series of like Halo, total sales of Halo, right? Okay. Halo's total sales in its lifetime is 81 million. Animal Crossing has half of that with one game. Right? You look at like Spider-Man sales, 3 games. 33 million plus the 10 now, so 43 million. So 4 or 3, is it 3 games? You have Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Spider-Man 2. So you have 3 games that have made 43 million sales, and you had Animal Crossing 43 million sales. $60.58 million copies sold for Mario Kart. Bro. Big Mo says, wait, a cotton picking minute. It's like a Looney Tunes quote. PlayStation isn't having a first-party title until 2025. Robert Jones said Mo just reignited the console wars single-handedly. Half of the Switches are just girls with Animal Crossing on consoles. Yeah. I hear. Now, hold on a second. Anybody that actually believes we see a chance to see God of War coming to Xbox is delusional. Yeah, I don't think we see God of War coming to Xbox, but I definitely see the next God of War game coming to PC day and date. Hell. No, first-party titles from an existing IP is what they meant. God of War coming to Switch 2. I would say Animal Crossing is a cult following, but it's a big ass cult. I mean, a cult would be like 2 million. Like Helldivers 1 is like a niche cult market, right? Dark Souls series is like a niche cult market. Animal Crossing, it's like Taylor Swifties. You know what I mean? Cult, we prefer term batshit crazy. Right. Metroid Dread is a cult market. Right? It's like popular within the populace of the people that we follow know about the game, but it's a very small amount of sales. Did you hear, Rose, that I read an article that Rise of Ronin was canceled in some country. They just canceled it. It's not coming out in that country anymore. Was it Korea, Cribsy? Thank you. Yeah. I heard. I was like, oh, damn. That hurts the studio. Rose is like, well, I live in America, and I can still get it. What's the point? I was just saying, did you hear that it was getting canceled? I'll buy 2. It's okay, Mo. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. America. All right, it's 12:23. This is getting into a console debate, and that's not what this is supposed to be. So, Returnal's on PC. Yeah, look, in the future, right? In the future, where I said that cloud gaming and digital gaming. Did you see that? Did you see that picture that Jeff Grubb posted the other day? Hold on, let me see if I can find it. He did a tweet yesterday or the other day. Let me see if I can find it. The Grub? I thought it was Grub. I could have sworn it was Grub. Not Grub? Oh, maybe it was a reply. He took a picture. There was a picture of the store, right? Like inside a Target or Walmart. And it was just a wall of just digital cards. It was just Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. It was just all digital stuff. No games anymore. And this is what I said. I said this for years now, Rose. I said, as much as me and you like a hard copy of a game, when you go into a store, all you see is the digital stuff, man. All you see is the digital stuff. And when you look at that, and I keep saying, in the next 5 to 7 years, did I say 5? It was 6 or 7. I think it was 5 to 7 years. I said it's going to all go cloud and digital, and that's what it's going to be. Everyone's like, infrastructure's not there. As the video games in the U.S. made $57 billion. Right? 57 billion, 46 billion of it was off of video games themselves. Yeah, they still have physical media, but if you notice, the physical media of the brand new games is much smaller than it used to be. Right? You can still get the what's it called? Not the returns. The used copies and stuff like that. That's what I'm saying, El. Right? And everyone's conversation is, well, the market, everywhere else, the internet's bad. I'll be like, they don't care about everyone's internet being good. The market that the market is where the internet's good, they just need a small percentage. Like, look at video games right now. PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo are fighting over 340 million, maybe, players. There's billions of gamers, but they're fighting over 300 million people because that's who keeps buying the consoles every time it comes out, right? You got 120 here, you got 60 here, you got 80 there. It's that market, and there's overlap, okay? The small percentage makes a shit ton of money. So now, if you only market to the people that have cloud gaming and you can push that on those people that have good internet capability, how much money do you think you can make off of those people? You don't need the majority to make billions and billions. You just need a certain group to make the money for you. My GameStop, not so much. It looks like a t-shirt shop. It looks like a Spencer's now. My GameStop looks like a Spencer's. They sell more Funko Pops and t-shirts and posters and everything else than video games. I'm waiting for PlayStation to unlock the cloud streaming on my portal. Isn't there a rumor that they're coming out with a handheld, L? Like a standalone handheld? I know it's a rumor. I said rumor. So. Don't even go into the GameStop for video games. I only go for collectibles now. Yeah, isn't that sad? I used to go to comic book shops for my collectibles. And now I go to GameStop. Something weird is happening at Toys R Us here and bringing back DVD and Blu-ray. Wait a minute. Are you in Canada, Jason? There's no Toys R Us anymore. Unless it's a pop-up shop. You have a Toys R Us where you are? You are in Canada. Okay. I was like, we don't have Toys R Us anymore. They're opening them up as pop-up shops here. There's like sections. Like you can go to Kohl's, right? You can go to Kohl's and they have like a small section of a Toys R Us toy section. I have one as well in the mall. It opened up in Macy's. Right, but it's not a standalone store. It's a section in the shop, right, Rose? Oh, yeah. They closed down, I want to say like 5 years ago, but maybe it's 7. When did it, maybe it was during the pandemic. No, the company filed bankruptcy in 2017, 2018, closing all of its stores in the US, UK, and Australia, with the last US store closing in 2021. Operations in other international markets such as Asia and Africa were also less affected, but chains in Canada, parts of Europe, and Asia were eventually sold to third parties. Yeah, so they literally went bankrupt in 2017 and closed. So it's been a hot minute. I remember I took my son to Toys R Us, and now they don't exist anymore. He remembers. He's like, wasn't there a toy store with a giraffe? I was like, yeah. I shop at Kmart in Circuit City. Ron, we don't have those either. Are you living in the past? What decade are you living in? I'm joking, but like we don't have those anymore. Kmart's closed down by me as well, and Circuit City's been gone for years as well. They're opening up 20 Toys R Us stores in 2024, supposedly. Standalone buildings or putting them into other places? Toys R Us and Kmart are all gone here? Yeah, we don't have them. I don't think we have them. I think they're all gone. We got 3 locations left of Kmart's. Three locations. 4? Four locations. Yeah, it's in Alaska. Yeah, the one Blockbuster left. I'm a cookie. Do you remember Water? Do you remember Turn Your Frown Upside Down? It was called Playworld. Playworld. Turn your frown upside down. There, Cuckoo Papa. KB Toys, yeah. Remember those as well. Yeah, Playworld was a kangaroo. That was the logo. Lionel Playworld. What are my demographics? Oh, for my channel? I could tell you. My audience, let's see. My audience is 99.2% male, 0.8 female. I got 0.5% 13 to 17 years old. I got 24.2% 18 to 24-year-olds. I got 39.3% of 25 to 34-year-olds. We have 25.2 35 to 44-year-olds. 45 to 54-year-olds, we have 9.7. We have 55 to 64.8. And we have 65 plus 0.3. Now, wouldn't that be a kicker if the 0.8 females watching me are in the 55 to 64 range? How many in Florida over 60? Well, it just means that's all for live. Okay, hold on. For live, actually, people watch live videos. My live videos, 0.2%. 0.2%. I got more people 55 to 64 and 65 plus watching me live than watch my videos. I need to diversify myself. A sausage fest in this place. 0.7% live. 0.9 watch videos. Females watch the videos. %62% from United States, 9.2% from United Kingdom, 3.8% from Canada, Australia 1.9, Germany 1.2. Hold on, let me see. We also have people from Brazil, France, India, Mexico, Netherlands, Sweden, Italy, Russia, Poland, South Africa, Ireland, Puerto Rico, Belgium, Honduras. Got a lot of countries, man. Hungary, Chile, Israel, Finland, Peru, Colombia, Vietnam, Portugal, Hong Kong. Right. The 0.8% is 30's son and his wife's phone. No, actually, my wife, and I shit you not, she does not have my channel on her phone. She does not watch my stuff. And my son doesn't watch my stuff. He listens. He can hear me when I do it at night. But other than that, he doesn't. I'm banned in Korea, probably. All right. We're done for the day. We'll be back tonight for the podcast with Ginger Prime. We're gonna get to know Ginger Prime a little bit. We'll talk a little bit about him, get to know him. We'll talk about his stand-up comedy and stuff. We'll also talk a little bit about gaming as well. But it's not a gaming podcast, you know what I mean? It's just getting other content creators, getting to know who they are, talk about different things here and there. So that'll be at tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on 30 NSG. So come on by for Ginger Prime podcast with him. Then tomorrow morning, we'll talk about other gaming news. If we hear what's happening with Xbox, we'll talk about that tomorrow evening in GXG with the Kingard. Kingard's joining me tomorrow evening. So I appreciate it very much. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, make sure you hit that Membership button is as little as $5. I appreciate you very much for coming out and hanging out with us in your mornings, afternoons, or evenings. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.